Knoxville, Iowa, home of the Knoxville Raceway and home to many of series and races. Some of the most famous from all over the world tonight, home to the Outlaw Dirt League, and these guys ready to rip the pro late models around this famous racetrack. And with that, we say hello and welcome, sim racing fans, to LSRTV, your home for sim racing. As I'm Brandon Cruz. Joining me here in the booth tonight is going to be Charles Woon, both behind the mic some and behind the cameras. And Charles, we're looking at what's going to be a pretty fun race here tonight. As we know, Knoxville can get very racy with multiple grooves.
It can get very racy, and it probably will here as well. Again, this track, I find it a little tricky. It can be, especially down there by that little lip in the bottom. It can be very treacherous, we'll say that. If this track slicks off, you can see it, that little bump there a little bit more, but if it doesn't, it's going to be tricky. These guys are going to have to be careful getting around this track to not hit that and go airborne.
Yeah, absolutely, and we know that these ruts can build up, especially up towards the high side of the racetrack as these guys start to wear this on. And, well, we're going to have a heat racing format here for the Dirt Series on the night. So heat race is going to be 12 laps long. 5 will transfer to the feature, and looks like... So 12 laps long, and we'll have a C main and B main if needed. And it'll be an 88-lap feature on the night, so these guys will be ready to rock and roll. And it is the championship night for this pro late model division here. So the Wilds West Pro Late Model Series here at the Knoxville Raceway, and happy to have you all with us here live on LSR TV. So ready to get things rolling here very shortly, about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, definitely glad we picked this up last minute as they were kind of left high and dry without a broadcaster. So they were kind of handed to us there, and we said, sure, we'll take you. And I expect to see some good racing. A lot of these drivers I've seen before. Tanner Tomasi, I know you've seen Richard Spar. So a lot of drivers in here. Stephen Moore, we've seen these guys in other leagues, so I have no reason to doubt that we won't see them put on a good show for you. Originally, we were estimated that it would be a 100-lap race. Due to fuel restraints, it's only going to be an 88-lap race. So that, of course, means in that feature, it's still a long feature, but you're really going to have to work your way to the front, and you're going to have to stay there once you get there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm sure we're going to see guys come in and fade out. And, some of these guys have strength in the longer races where a lot of these guys are used to the standard 30-lap feature. So it will really show. You got to keep consistency all night tonight. And, of course, the track is going to change with every lap that passes. So these guys really going to have to move around and find the groove that works. And I do expect that we're going to have 2 or 3 grooves moving on the night by the time this whole night is said and done.
Yeah, and of course, we do want to remind you, this is not the only race on the schedule. We have 88 laps here, and then roughly, probably, I would guess, an hour, maybe an hour and a half after that, we're going to have another race. So make sure you stay tuned, as we're going to have some legends at Lanier. Really looking forward to that race as well, as we had one last night. Those little cars may not be very big, but they can definitely get around a track. Not as quite as fast as one of these super late models, but still some good racing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of the mid-level late model, the pro late model here tonight at Knoxville up next. And, the high-powered motorcycle engine-powered Legends car is going to be at around 11 p.m. tonight. So make sure you all tune in for that as well. And those guys put on a really good show also. And, of course, another racy track that they will be at.
Yeah, and I'm looking here in the pits, and you know, you always have that rebel at a racetrack that likes to do things different. If you look at the pits here, I think we may know who our rebel of this race is going to be. Everybody parked in the pits, nice and uniform, and then you have that third car there parked the complete opposite way of everybody else. So is that like the bad boy in the boy band?
Yeah, you know, it's that's it. He wants to be different. That's all.
Well, yeah, definitely different out here. We'll see how he's.
It got
Let
him
me
some
see.
airtime, anyways.
It did indeed get him airtime, and he'll be probably watching this later on. And here, looking at this view, absolutely stunning facility. And I believe we can't see it here at the moment for the Brian Clausen Tower back there, but the stands not quite full here. But however, it does look like they are about 6 feet apart from each other.
Yeah, yeah, that is definitely it. I think they're gonna fill up as heat races start to commence here. So these guys going right into heat racing action right after practice. So give it about 8 minutes or so, and these guys will be hitting the track for heat race number 1. So it will be a pill draw style heat race format, I do imagine, and these guys will kind of be randomized on where they start in which heat and where they start in their heat.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna be honest. That's almost the way. Well, almost it is the way I like it. You know, I'm not a big fan of qualifying and then running a heat race. It seems kind of like a double negative to me. That is how our local track is. You come in, you draw a pill, and you find out, crap, I'm starting at the back or I'm on pole. Of course, starting at the back, if you're running passing points, it's a good thing that way. If you're at the front, you could maybe avoid some wrecks. So both of them could be a plus, both of them could be a negative, but I like the pill draw style and then heat races. That just seems to be, you know, the old style dirt track style that I like.
So just a few more minutes before these guys hit the track for the first set of heat races here. And Charles, we know that this track can get really racy, but it's also a very wide racetrack and, you know, a very, very fast racetrack. And, of course, about a half-mile around, but that is quite big for the dirt track side of things, as we see a lot of, you know, a lot of quarter miles on a lot of these guys' schedules, too, and maybe just a little bit bigger. But these guys going to be really flying around this place as it's, you know, I do expect some high, wide, and handsome race car drivers to be built right up against that outside wall for the first portion of the nights, and probably through heat races and then through the feature. I do expect these guys to start moving around just a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely do. And, you know, you talk about the track size. Locally, a lot of people probably hear, you know, a quarter mile, a fifth mile, 3/8 is kind of what you hear around. You really don't have a whole lot of, you know, half-mile tracks, at least not where I'm at anyway, but these tracks do produce a lot of speed. Obviously, this track really famous for its sprint car races, but again, the Pro Bike models can put on a good show as well. And I'm with you. You can already start to see they're wearing out the bottom of this track, which means they're going to start moving up a little bit. And I will note that this track is very difficult on that outside fence, as it's not a wall. It's more of a guardrail style fence, and it can catch you. And if it does, you're in for a ride.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you get up and you've got so much speed here, especially pushing the outside lane, that's if your right rear catches that, it's more than likely going to suck you in. You can't really stick your right rear up that and kind of slide against it like you can on a concrete wall. So it does make it for you know, kind of an interesting scenario. And but these guys are going to be ripping that high side. We'll have a little bit of a cushion that builds up there, I do believe. So these guys are going to end up moving up at some points, and they're going to be carrying some serious speed in these 358s.
That they are. And right now I'm showing 19 drivers that have made the trip here. Again, 19 drivers may not seem like a lot, for a single event like this. But 19 drivers, you think about it IRL style, that's a lot of cars for a single class. 19 cars in a feature is a good feature. So I look at it like that. I expect to see a really good feature here. We'll see how the cautions stack out. Again, this is new territory for us as we have not covered this league before. So caution laps not counting. Not sure on that. We'll have to get clarification, or we'll just find out when the caution comes out. If we see a caution, we've been told that they have some pretty good clean racing, so we may not see very many cautions here tonight.
And that is always the hope. You want to see good, clean racing all throughout the race. And yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see. I have seen some guys struggling a little bit through practice, trying to keep it up on the outside or trying to keep the cars from underneath them. I've been told it's a pretty difficult or a fairly difficult setup on this on these cars here tonight. So these guys got to be bouncing around, trying to miss ruts out here, and doing their best to hang on, and going to be really close to that outside wall, I do imagine.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be hanging it out on the outside of this track. And look at there, you can see that angle. It's gone away, but you can see the sun is setting. Absolutely beautiful, shining off that dirt, which, of course, shining means it has a little bit of moisture in it still. Right there, you can see where that slick is, where they've slicked it off. You can see the sun shining off of it, which means we are just about 1 minute away from heat racing action. So we're going to let you have at it, Brandon, here. I'm going to go run quickly back to the production booth before they lock the door and don't let me in. So I will let you have it here, and we'll go for some good racing.
All right, Charles, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Just a minute left here before heat racing action begins. And again, we'd like to thank all of you for tuning in on the nights. From this point forward, it's probably just going to be me up here in the booth, Charles running back to the production trailer before they take the key and throw it down the drain. And so should be a good night of racing, as these guys just a few more seconds to go. So heat race number 1 going to be lining up here on the grid, ladies and gentlemen, and should be a good one. As looking at these guys lining up. So it does appear that I am having a couple of technical issues with my grid, so you'll see that flash by on your screen now as these guys gonna coming around for a couple of pace laps here behind the iRacing official pace truck. Does look like it's going to be Peyton Stevenson on the pole for this thing. Grant Wesley to his outside. That's going to make up your front row here. So 22 on the inside, 28 or 88 going to be on the outside there. So these guys pulling around this place right now. So again, this is championship nights here for the Wilds West Pro Late Model Division here live on LSRTV. These guys going to be coming around the pace truck. Should be making its way off to the safety of pit road this time around. And these guys got to get ready to go green flag racing for the heat race number 1. The first time of the night. This is going to be heat race number 1 of 2. Everybody should make it to the feature. As we see, green flag is in the air for the first time of the night. Now heading down into corners number 1 and 2. 22 going to have that advantage on the inside. Down off of corner number 2. Now 88's going to try to stick his nose in there on the outside. That's Grant Wesley. Now down. Big slider from the 22 down out of corner number 4. A little bit of contact on the inside. They're going to be 3 wide for the lead for the moment. And rim right to the outside. Look out. Here comes the 7. Almost 4 wide for the lead. Down off of contact. Down the back straightaway. Caution flag is in the air. Up and over goes Cole Wells in the 7. As we go to LSRTV replay, we saw they were almost 4 wide down the back straightaway. Just didn't quite work out. Up on the outside wall on top of that 22. And that's going to be Peyton Stevenson there as big-time ride for the number 7. He's able to pull away, surprisingly, as he was up and over onto his lid. Both drivers will walk away from that one or drive away from that one. So that's going to hand the lead over to the 88 of Grant Wesley. So kind of a big-time mess there on lap number 2 is we do see that there is 2 88 cars up front. That's AJ Cruz behind him. He's registered in the 57. Got the 88 on the side of the car there. So these guys will line up behind the pace truck once again. I do expect to possibly get the white flag this time around at the flag stand for 1 lap to the green. So these guys, of course, awesome racing from what we've seen so far. We've known this place to be a 2-line racetrack. Pretty much all the way around this place is, not that much banking to the place. So, it does make for some really good, clean racing, especially once that bottom gets worn out just a little bit. So these guys stacked up, doubled up, ready to go back green flag racing now. Lights up on top of the iRacing official pace truck are off. The pace truck going to be making its way down into pit road this time around. The field is already on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air, now down into corner number 1. The 88 car is going to lead. They've got 2 wide battling behind them. Now down off of corner number 2, down into corner number 3 as we get off the back straight away. And these guys are going to single out pretty quick now. We saw a lot of 2-3 wide racing before that caution flag flew, as these guys will kind of single out. Possible battle for the lead. We see these guys starting to move it around just a little bit. Grant Wesley still out front. AJ Cruz behind him. And it looks like as we go on board with AJ Cruz, we see these guys, not much lifting going on through the corners, as that high side is still very tacky at this moment. As we're going to see these guys end up wearing that high side out as the night progresses on, and 88 lap feature also, so that'll help things also. Only 2 heat races on the night, as we have already hit that halfway point. We're on lap 6 currently. Heading down off of corner number 4 this time around. AJ Cruz, he's got company behind him. That's going to be the 08. Up on the outside wall just a little bit. As we see these guys hit the wall just a little bit now, and of course that wall will suck you right in. It's a guardrail. It's not like a concrete wall where the metal will skim off of it. This will suck the nose of the car right into it. So we see Calvin Herring in the 08 behind all of these guys now. riding around. It's going to be 2 laps to go this time, or excuse me, it's thinking of 10 lap features. So they are lap 9 of 12, so heat race, 12 lap heat races. Calvin Herring trying to get to the back bumper of that 88 once again, but just can't quite seem to get there as he's trying to run that little bit lower of a line, and he's doing all he can. Now almost a little bit of a bonsai move down there from Herring. Right up to the back bumper. He's going to lose it as these guys really want to be easy in to power off. So he's going to lose a little bit of ground there, and if we see that the leader has pulling away, Grant Wesley, that other 88th machine out front right now. So now we are officially under 2 to go. Coming for the white flag this time around. Grant Wesley is going to be your race leader, coming down to take the white flag for heat race number 1 this time around. Down off of corner number 2 now, that 88 machine, Grant Wesley, as we see, he's going to be one to watch out for tonight. Your heat race winner for heat race number 1 is going to be that 88 of Grant Wesley, and AJ Cruz coming in behind him. Calvin Herring going to be 3rd, 4th is Cole Wells, and Richard Spar going to be rounding out the top 5 for heat race number 1. So these guys going to be rolling out for heat race number 2 this time around. Looks like it's going to be Dylan Duvall and Joey Lamb starting on the front row of heat race number 2 of 2 heat races on the night. Everybody should make it to the feature, no problem. So it's going to be a quick and easy night for these guys on the championship night here with the Wilds West Pro Late Model Division. So Tanner Tomasi and Stephen Moore are going to be rounding out the top 4, and I do believe that's Drew Phillips back there in the 5th position. And I do ask that you cut me a little bit of a break here in this heat, because there's a lot of number 22s all stacked there in a row, so got to try to figure out which one is which. I can recognize one of them with the yellow spoiler, and one of them's pink. So, gonna take me a little bit of time to see which 22 is which out here. But pace car gonna be making its way down into the safety of pit road this time around, and William Duvall gonna be getting these guys up to speed here with heat race number 2. Pace car is off, the 22 waiting for him to fire down off of corner number 4. They're on the bars. Green flag is back in the air. Heat race number 2. Down through corner number 1 and 2. Now he's going to have company already to the inside of him. That's Tanner Tomasi. And the other 22 now down. Big time slider down off of corner number 4 that time around. Now down off of corner number heading down through the front straightaway down into corner number 1 this time around. Down the back straightaway, these guys still going to be fighting for the lead. As looks like 3rd place has got a little bit of company back there by himself also, and that's Drew Phillips in the 22. There's a lot of 22s out here. The 81, Joey Lamb, sitting in 3rd right now. He's trying to give company to, looks like William Duvall up there in that 2nd position now. right now, Tanner Tomasi out front. He's showing the speed that he needs up on that high side, and I talked about it earlier, is consistency is key out here on this racetrack, especially running that high side. You need to be able to run that same line consistently up against that cushion, because we are already starting to get one that's forming as we see Joey Lamb starting to take that second position away up on that high side, so it does look like it's starting to come in, but we see multiple crews being run in as it's 3 wide for that third position back there. Drew Phillips up into the outside wall just a little bit. He's got company below him. That's the number 19 machine, and William Duvall falling all the way back to about that 5th spot. So these guys continuing to battle it out for that third position. Drew Phillips up into the outside wall once again, and it just sucks you right in. That's going to give the advantage to Shane Kelly down low in the 19. He's going to try to, and I thought he was going to go for the slider, but he's not quite going to be able to get there. He's running that bottom line. He's got company again on the outside. This is the closest battle out onto the racetrack right now. Joey Lamb again on the outside, and, that's, Shane Kelly inside and Drew Phillips on the outside. I do apologize for some technical issues with my timing. So these guys going to be coming down next time around to take the 2 lap to go mark. That bottom line does seem to be working just a little bit better as these guys are starting to wear out the outside now. So these guys, you really got to have the confidence to run up there because your right rear is going to be planted right against that outside wall. And, we've seen some guys already get into it a few times. So that 19, if you roll in the bottom and you're keeping a real easy foot on the throttle, you really can make it work. Right now, out front, Tanner Tomasi in the 22. He's going to be taking the white flag as he crosses the stand this time around. The guys to look out for so far have pulled away in the heat races from what we've seen. And a lot of fast drivers here tonight for the championship race out of corner number 4, heat race winner, Tanner Tomasi and the 22. Finishing in that second position is going to be Joey Lamb. Shane Kelly finishing 3rd. Drew Phillips finishing 4th, and rounding out the top 5 is going to be Craig Gullickson. And ladies and gentlemen, as the sun quickly sets, the lights come on the Knoxville Raceway. We get ready to go feature racing here tonight. So, starting in first is going to be the number 22, William Duvall. Starting second is going to be Peyton Stevenson. Starting third is going to be Stephen Moore. Starting in that 4th position is going to be Steve Robbins. And rounding out the top 5 is going to be Craig Gullickson. Starting 6th is going to be Richard Spar. Starting 7th is Drew Phillips. Starting 8th is going to be Cole Wells. Starting in the 9th position, it's going to be Shane Kelly. And rounding out your top 10 on the starting grid, it's going to be Calvin Herring. The rest of your grid will flash on the screen before you. So these guys going to be ready to roll off. Pace car rolls off of the grid now. And it's going to be, I believe, about 20 drivers taking the green flag here on the night. 19 drivers in total ready to take the green flag here on the night. We'll complete 2 pace laps before going green flag racing for 88 laps. So again, William Duvall and Peyton Stevenson going to be starting on your front row. 88 laps of green flag racing going to be taking place here. And again, this is the Wild West Pro Late Model Division Championship night here. So we see a lot of these guys, a lot of fast drivers here. And we saw earlier in the night, it was a lot of these guys ripping that high side. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens here as the pace car, I believe, maybe getting ready to pull off this time around. Lights are off. Pace cars off. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seat belts for 88 laps of racing action. The Wild West Pro Late Model Division. It's showtime. Down off of corner number 2, William Duvall has the advantage at this moment, and it looks like it's going to be Peyton Stevenson behind him. New third placeman, but a crossover behind him. Steve Robbins, 073 on the inside of the 73. That's Stephen Moore back there trying to go up for the third position. Down into corners number 3 and 4. Now down the front straightaway. William Duvall, he's got to keep on his toes. He's got Peyton Stevenson there and the other 22 right behind him, following right in his tire tracks as they keep it clean for the first 3 laps. Now come to 4 laps of this event. These guys battling back here for, looks like what's that going to be, that 5th position. 46 on the inside, 71 on the outside now. Is a little bit of a close call there. These guys running pretty equally on both ends of the racetrack right now, on both the high line and the low line. 46 trying to take advantage on that low line. You really got to roll it, but it looks like the high side's going to prevail. These guys using the momentum to their advantage to try to get themselves out front right now. Looking on replay of an incident that happens. So, back up front now, William Duvall still has the lead up there in that 22 and still has company as we see Stevenson getting closer and might have the nose under him heading down into corner number 1. It's going to be a battle for the lead early in this 88 lap event. The 22 is going to be side by side down the back straightaway and give it to William Duvall. He had the momentum on the outside and he was able to use it, as that's what you need to do to keep yourself out front. So these guys pretty much singled out throughout the peg. A little bit of a battle back here. 81 on the inside and 07 on the outside back here for about the latter half of the top 10. Give it to Cole Wells in that 7 car. 81 Joe Lamb falling in behind him. And Terrence Tomas, who we saw, he won a heat race. He's trying to make his way up through the field now. He's trying to rip that bottom side now. Still trying to gain positions here. Currently being scored in that 10th spot. As they cross the line this time around, he should still be in that 10th position. So a little bit of a tackier track, I believe we may have started off with for this feature event. They reworked it right after heat races, and it's showing to prove difficulty for these guys that were used to that little bit of a slicker racing surface. These guys really trying to power off the bottom, and these cars just they don't have the oomph. The motor it is a little bit of a smaller motor, 358s compared to the Super League models that run, I believe, just over a 400 cubic inch motor. But these guys going to be singled out up front. It's still William Duvall out front of that 22, and Stevenson still trying to get to his back bumper. A little bit of a battle back there for that 4th position, I do believe. These guys just trying to buy their time right now. Of course, only lap 12 of an 88 lap race, and you really got to keep your nose clean, as we see Steve Robbins down low trying to fight for position up against that 71. That's Richard Spar on the outside of him now. Richard Spar going to use that momentum on the outside, as we've seen, has been prevailing pretty much in every move that we've seen so far. The outside, I believe, is where you want to be. So everybody's trying to stick to it, and as long as you keep the car playing and you're able to keep the car from snapping on you, as we see caution flag on the speedway for the first time of the night. Looking back on LSRTV replay. Calvin Herring was made a hard contact there as Looked like he got up at the outside wall, and yeah, trying to see who hit him. I believe that would have been the number 14 of Brian Hogue. Big impact there. So, pretty serious damage to both of those race machines, and probably one of the hardest hits you'll see of the night. So, tough break for both of those drivers. Currently still William Duvall leading this race. Should get the 1 to green signal at the flag stand this time around, I do believe. So William Duvall leading, Peyton Stevenson in that 2nd position, Stephen Moore sitting 3rd, Richard Sparr made his way up to the 4th position so far, Steve Robbins in 5th, and rounding out the top 6 is going to be Craig Gullickson. So that's going to be the first 3 rows of cars on this upcoming restart. So as we do see lights up on top of the iRacing pace truck are off, it'll be making its way into the safety of pit road this time around for these guys to come and grab the green flag once again. William Duvall going to be leading these guys to the drop of the green flag here. First restart of the night. Pace car is off. The field is on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air. Duvall gets the advantage on the restarts. And Stevenson looking down low. Look out. They've got company. Here comes Stephen Moore battling for that 2nd position on the low side. Is going to fall back. Now it's going to be a battle for 3rd. Richard Sparr trying to take advantage on the outside. Brief moment. 3 wide for that 2nd spot. Down into corner number 1 now. It's going to be side by side now. 73 looking for 2 positions. Off of corner number 2. Now down into corner number 3. That bottom side looks like it could be starting to come in. He's kind of riding about a lane and a half up. Look out. Loose up into the wall. Contact. Around goes the 46. Almost. What a save. Now it's going to be 3 wide. Caution flag on the speedway once again. Taylor James in the 56 going around back there. Looked like they stacked up in front of him as they were 4 wide at one point there, as it looked like it was a chain reaction. The 46 got loose, as we saw. Those guys all had to check up, and the guys in back did not quite get the memo. So hard contact for a couple of those drivers going around, and a little bit of serious rear end damage, I do believe, for that 56 of Taylor James. And the 17S also back there getting some pretty significant damage as he was lifted off the ground. So tough break for those drivers also. So lap 21, or 21 laps into this thing, currently sitting on lap 22. William Duvall, no change out front. William Duvall out front, and Peyton Stevenson behind him. We do have a new 3rd placeman. That's Richard Sparr looking to make some noise up front. That 71 machine. All of these guys have been really good racing so far, and we know that Knoxville is able to provide that type of racing, and props to a lot of these series drivers out here, as we got a lot of fast guys, a lot of guys that I know are fast on a week-to-week basis. Not necessarily in the series or just restricted to the series, but just in general on the service. So lights up on top of the pace truck route once again, and just want to give a quick shout out to iRacing Motorsport Simulations, as you know, we are all kind of trapped without racing at the moment, so this is our relief to all of the real world stress that we've got out here, and these guys able to put on one good show for all of you race fans tonight. Pace car going to be making its way down into the safety of pit lane once again. The field stacked up, doubled up, ready to go. Green flag racing. They're on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air and down out of corner number 4. Down the back straightaway now, it's going to be the 22 machine, William Duvall leading the field. 22 Peyton Stephen behind him. Little bit of a battle for the third position. Richard Spar trying to make that inside work. He's going to fall back to fourth. And now Tanner Tomasi trying to make some noise as he worked his way out from the back of the pack. Tanner Tomasi on the outside in that 22 machine. Now up to the fourth spot, looking to gain another position. He's got to get through a couple of cars in front of him. William Duvall has company for the lead up front now. Peyton Stevenson, he gets his nose in on the outside. Duvall cuts it off. He says, no driver, not today, or not on this lap. Stevenson almost got his nose in there on the outside, and that's exactly what he would have needed. We know that outside has the advantage. Now looking down, he's got his nose to the inside. He's going to try to slingshot down off of corner number 2 this time. A drag race down the back straightaway for the first 2 drivers. He's going to try to throw it in there. A little bit of contact between those 2 drivers. They work up the track. Big contact outside wall. Around goes to Massey. Around goes Stevenson. Up and over goes the 22 machine. Up and over goes 2 cars. Caution flag on the speedway. Tough break for Peyton Stevenson. We go back on replay to watch that one. We saw a lot of contact down the back straightaway. There were 3 wide. So Massey tried to duck low. Didn't quite work. Stevenson up and over. And it looks like Steve Robbins up and over in that mess as well in the 073. Tough break for those 2 drivers up on the outside wall. And I believe that's going to end both of their nights, as I saw some pretty serious suspension damage in both of those cars as they went up and over. So these guys all get a pit here as lights on the pace car are still on. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll catch you for the green flag.
If you're driving a Chevy or a Dodge, right now is the time. It's truck month and up to $17,000 off F-Series trucks. 0% available, top dollar for trade. If you want it, no bull, we got it. From Keysville, Beeville, and everywhere in between, shop Sames and Save.
Coming back for the green flag now. Pace car is off. The field is back on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air. Now, company, Tanner Tomasi, able to pull a big-time slider down out of corner number 2. Now down off of corner number 2. This time around, it's going to be a drag race. Duvall going to give it right back to him. Down, now battling on the low side. The 22 is going at it once again. Just a different set of 22s. These guys down off of corner number 2 this time around. Duvall falling back to that second position. New leader, Tanner Tomasi, out front. Duvall's got company back there for the second position. They're almost going to be 3 wide back there. Not quite. It's going to be a side-by-side battle for the second spot. Here comes the 19 machine down low. That's going to be Shane Kelly. That bottom side, one of the few drivers that have been able to make it work so far all night tonight is that 19 machine trying to gain second place. Couldn't quite hold the momentum that time. So, battle for that second position. The 19 down low. He has the momentum. He's able to make that bottom side work. Now that's going to be almost 3 wide for that second position. Tomasi still out front, but we're going to focus on this battle for second. Now the 19 loses a little bit of momentum. It's going to be Cole Wells and Shane Kelly battling it out for that third position. Cole Wells wants around Duval on that high side now. He's got the momentum. He's going to tuck his bumper right underneath the rear end of that 22 machine. Down off of corner number 4 this time. 38 laps into the 88 lap feature. Battling it out for that third position. Still going to be side by side, and almost up to the outside wall is going to be that 7 machine. Now ducking below Duval. Big time slider. Down off of corner number 2. Duval's going to try the crossover, almost 3 wide. A little bit of contact there. Down into corner number 3. New second placement, Cole Wells, as he's got his eye set on the 22 Tomasi now. So, down battling is these guys down in 30. They're getting here at Knoxville tonight. Cole Wells up to that second place. Duval, your pole sitter, fell back to the third position. Now may lose another spot. The 19 trying to battle back down low once again. Shane Kelly on the low side, not quite going to be able to make it work that time around, but he's going to continue to try it. He knows he can make it work. Not quite able to get there once again. He's going to try to throw it down in there. He is at the point where he could probably make that slide job work. Sometimes it's best not to risk it, only because that outside wall comes up awfully quick on you. But now, Shane Kelly, he's got company behind him. That's the 88 machine, AJ Cruz. These guys getting really, really racy out here as there was almost contact from behind that 88's car. Shane Kelly still trying to battle it out down low. Battle for the lead now. Tanner Tomasi's got company. Cole Wells down low. He's going to throw it in hard into the corner, and he's going to gain the lead. Tomasi, nothing for him. Down off corner number 2. He's trying to use that momentum, but he's going to let him have it for now. Both of those guys riding to that outside wall. New leader Cole Wells in that 7. Still battling back there for second. Shane Kelly just can't seem to get around that 22 Duval. Now they got company, almost 3 wide for that second position. AJ Cruz wants around. He knows that he has the speed. He's trying to use the momentum to stick his nose in between these two drivers, but it is a dangerous game because if neither one of them know that you're there, then he ends up in a sandwich and possibly a big wreck. And he doesn't want to do that. He sticks his nose there underneath the 22 now. Going to be 3 wide for that second position as these guys are going to manage to hold it 3 wide down off of corner number 2. The 88 going to give up some momentum. I think he hit that slick spot down there. Not quite rubbered up down there yet. Dylan Duval still managing to hang on to that second position. Cruz going to try to take it 3 wide once again. He's got his nose underneath the 22 car. He's just not quite able to get there. Battling down low. The 19 car down off of corner number 2. This is the closest battle for this second position. You're going to have about 4 or 5 cars here if these guys continue to go side by side. Everybody's starting to close in on this group of drivers now. The 19 car still down low. Shane Kelly trying to find a way around Duval. I think if he was able to, or confident to, he would probably be able to pull that slide job off. But again, that outside wall comes up so close to you, you really, sometimes best not to risk it. We are past the halfway point in this race, by the way. These guys all trying to gain everything that they can. Shane Kelly getting so close to taking that second spot. Now he clears the 22 down off of corner number 4 that time around. Down through corners number 1 and 2 this time by the 19 car. Now may have company from the 88 machine. He blocks him down low. He's going to ride that bottom berm all the way around. Now he bobbles just a little bit. Here comes the 22 once again. 3 wide for that second position. Or third position, sorry. These guys all battling back here all throughout this racetrack. Both ends of the racetrack, very racy as we've seen so far. Shane Kelly manages to hang on to it. The 88's got momentum on the outside. AJ Cruz trying to fight for that third position. He wants that podium spot. These laps are ticking off quick. These guys know that they got to get there if they're going to be there for the end. So the 88 on the outside. The 19 still riding the bottom of that track. He just has to keep it consistent down there. Easy in, easy off is the key to running fast here on the bottom of Knoxville. All of these guys hoping to find a way around right now. As I will give a fair warning to my producer, I don't know if I'm going to lose power or not because I do have power lines down right across the street from me. But so far we're still good. These guys are pretty much singled out for the most part now. This Knoxville Raceway is proven to be very racy. William Duvall still kind of losing spots there, trying to find some momentum out, maybe trying to try that high side. Joey Lamb's underneath him now. Man, the amount of dirt on the noses of these cars are insane. Such a tacky racetrack up there on the high side. These guys are just spitting mud everywhere right now. Joey Lamb trying to gain positions there on the bottom. He started 11th, now currently up to the 7th spot. He has gained quite a bit of positions here, especially for how racy this track is. Everybody is so close together in times, even still. Now 3 wide back to the position. Hard contact to the outside wall. 2 cars hard into the wall. Caution flag on the speedway once again. They were 3 wide down off of corner number 4. And hard head on to the outside wall goes the 22. And I believe the 08. Oh, man. What a race ender for the 2 faster drivers here working their way up to the field. Duvall lost a couple of spots and put him into a bad situation. Those guys both hit the outside wall and hard head-on hit to the outside wall and hard head-on hits to the inside wall again for Duvall. So back under caution once again. Your leader out front right now, Cole Wells in the 7th, Tanner Tomasi in 2nd, Shane Kelly in 3rd, AJ Cruz up to 4th, and up to 5th is Joey Lamb after the mayhem that we just saw here on lap 62. All of these guys have been battling it out and racing really hard here, as we've seen. They've been getting really racy, and I believe this caution will probably help that just a little bit. Laps are ticking off pretty quick here in Knoxville, as they do. So lights up on top of the iRacing pace truck are off. These guys stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go back green flag racing this time around. Cole Wells is going to be leading these guys back to the green flag once again. Pace car makes his way down into the safety of pit lane. This time by now down off of corner number 4. The field is on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air. Battling in back, 3 wide, as we see these guys getting racy all over this racetrack now. Battle up here for the lead. 19 down low. Shane Kelly trying to make noise up front. Side by side, down at a corner number 3. Now down at a corner number 4. Momentum, give it to the bottom. New leader at the line, number 19, Shane Kelly. He's got to be able to hold it. Up on the outside wall goes the 7 now. That gives him the advantage. Still not quite able to clear. Cole Wells has the nose on him up the outside. These guys trying to battle it out. They've both got to be consistent. 19 still has the momentum down low. Brian Hogg wrecked down the backstretch. No caution. We're still green. These guys up front, I'm sure, are hoping to keep this thing green. Now, Wells up on the outside is, he had the momentum. He got the wall just a little bit again that time around. That's something you got to watch out for. Rim ride in this place up on the top. 19 down low. He's been one of the only guys to really make that bottom work, and he's been able to pick off position. Now he clears the 7. New leader for sure this time is going to be the 19. He had a nose in every lap, and now he's able to clear. Down off of corner number 4 this time around. Shane Kelly out front. They're singled out for the top 2. Battle for that 3rd position back there. AJ Cruz up on the high side. Looks like Joey Lamb down low, trying to go for that 3rd spot. The bottom line looks like it's starting to come around finally. Just looks like Cruz up on the high side, that 88, just able to keep that momentum rolling a little bit more than that 81 down low. Give it to Cruz up top for the very moment. So Cole Wells, we saw he had the lead at one point. Now he got passed by the 19 to Shane Kelly. Kelly going to be out front. That's going to be, I believe, our 3rd or 4th lead change of the night so far here, as we do see still battling all throughout this field. All throughout the latter half of the top 10 and all the way up into the top 5. Joey Lamb going to give it another go down low for the 3rd position, that 81. He's really trying to make that bottom side work. Consistency is key. Now the 88 moves down low, and it looks like everybody going to be switching to that bottom lane, at least for the very moment. Everybody going to try to play around with it and see what kind of grip they can get down there. The top side did get wore out pretty well. So these guys switching down low. We do see there is a little bit of tack down there still. These guys just got to keep their cars as straight as possible. That's how you make that bottom side work. These cars out here, we see how tacky this racetrack is. The car is really showing that. All these cars are mud covered and mud packed here as this race has progressed. You can see the guys that have really been in the mix of things up here also is, well, pretty much everybody at this point. And up front, Shane Kelly, that white number 19. The mud really stands out on that thing, and for sure is, looks like maybe a battle back there for second again as these guys battle around a lap car. Cole Wells going to hang on to that position. AJ Cruz behind him. Darren Tomasi falling back from to the 5th position, as we've seen he was up front at one point tonight also. It's going to be 10 laps to go this time by. Calvin Herring, just an update for him. He is off the racetrack. Pulled it into the infield to his hauler. Trying to look for battles around this track. The field's pretty much singled out now. It's been a long race for all of these drivers, as we know that these guys aren't used to running these long events. Again, this race was originally scheduled for 100 laps. Due to fuel concerns, they lowered it to 88 laps. Shane Kelly started towards the latter half of the top 10. He started 9th. He was able to pick off positions all under the green flag and work his way up all the way to the first position, as he is your current race leader. Battles shaping up back here once again. These guys start to edge each other closer to one another. The 7 may have company here in just a couple of laps. We know Tomasi's trying to get his front bumper up to the back of the 88 machine now. AJ Cruz trying to find a way around that 7. Cole Wells drifts up the track just a little bit. Now battle again for that second position. These guys going to be side by side into corner number 1. The 7 gets up to the outside wall just a little bit. The 88's going to hang it low. A drag race once again. 88 down low, 7 up high. Up to the outside wall goes Cole Wells. He's going to lose some momentum from that. Give the second position to the 88. Now here comes the 22 to try to take third. Here comes the 81 machine for 4th now. So big mistake there for Cole Wells in that 7. He got up to the outside wall, and again, it just sucks you in here. You really got to be careful, especially now that that high side is slickened off. Gonna be just a handful of laps this time around for Shane Kelly in the 19. We saw he's been able to rock that bottom line pretty much this whole race, and it's proven that it has been a successful race for him, as he's tried something different from all the rest of the guys. Most of these guys are running the high side pretty much the whole 88 laps. Is well, towards the last 10 or so, they've drifted down low, but the 19 machine, for one of the first ones to go down there and proven successful, was able to pick off positions, and he's looking really favorable as long as we don't get another caution here. Two laps to go for the 19 this time around. Now coming down off of corner number 4. 1 lap to go, presented by East Coast Motorsports Media. Again, the 19 machine, Shane Kelly, he's proven to be able to run that bottom line with success. He was one of the first ones to go down there and try it out. Now down on corner number 4, it's been proven successful. He's going to be your race winner here tonight at Knoxville. AJ Cruz finishing in the 2nd position. Cole Wells finishing 3rd. Tanner Tomasi finishing 4th. And rounding out the top 5 is going to be Joey Lamb. The rest of the results will flash by on your screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, after a successful 88 laps of racing, be sure to stick around for the post-race show. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to LSRTV, your home for sim racing with the post-race show presented by Clan Wars Server, the official communication partner of LSRTV. I've got the top two finishers with me, and unfortunately, third place and series champion Cole Wells, as we may have him, as I'm being told. And we do third placeman and series champion here on the night, Cole Wells. Cole, you ran a strong race all night tonight. How you feeling?
Oh, not too bad. I didn't want to see that caution come out, I'll tell you that much. But Shane was doing a heck of a job on that bottom. You couldn't ask for any better than that. He was just smooth as glass down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you showed a strong night all night tonight. Just, again, kind of a late race caution or a later race caution. And Shane Kelly able to sneak by everybody on the bottom there, it seemed, as, you ran a strong race. And I imagine a pretty strong season. This is our first time covering you guys here for the season. But you come home series champion. How does that make you feel?
Oh, not too bad. I mean, these guys they're fun to race with. They give you everything you want. I mean, they race you hard, and you can see me and Shane and AJ. We all race side by side, never touch each other, and that's what's all about. It was a fun season.
Clean racing all around, and that's what we like to hear, and that's what we like to see here on the dirt side. And these late models, they put on a really good show here tonight. So, Cole, you finish on the podium. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank or shout out to here for your season?
Oh, well, Richard Spar for putting together Team BDR. Let me get my list here. Family Pawn, Russell Brown Race Cars, Midwest Sheet Metal, Open Door Thrift Store, and Royal Oaks. They helped us do all this, and we're getting ready for the spring fling, and that's what I'm really getting excited about here.
Yeah, that'll be a good show indeed, and So, again, Cole, thanks for talking with us, and congratulations on the podium finish and the series championship.
I appreciate it, Brandon.
Now we've got second place finisher down here, AJ Cruz. AJ, another strong race for you here tonight. And, in Knoxville, it's not an easy track to try to navigate, and especially you guys were kind of moving all over the place for the grooves, but how you feeling after the race here tonight?
I feel really good. I didn't really start off best for me. I got caught up in a wreck. I don't really know what happened, but so I had to start at the back of the field, but we come through and dodged a couple of them. But Knoxville's a really, really challenging track. It can be easy at times, but whenever it slicks over, you've got to be real careful of the line that you run. And man, Shane, he showed the line that needed to be run because he was checked out. Yeah, that was a really fun race.
Yeah, it looked really fun out there, and you guys put on a really, really good show as you finished top two and in the podium. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank or shout out to for your performance here tonight?
Yes, sir. I'd like to say thank y'all for y'all broadcasting this and putting us out there. Really appreciate that. I'd like to thank the Wild West series, Christopher, for putting it on. It's been a really good league to run in. I'd also like to give a shout out to my team, MDR, Joey Lamb, and we've put together a pretty stout team here, and it's really pleasure and fun running with them guys. My sponsors, Milner Media. If y'all need a wrap, anybody needs a wrap for their paint, I would highly suggest him. He'd knock it out quick, and the quality is there. Jerky Dudes Beef Jerky, Gordon and Wayne Restoration, Hanover Wrecker Surface, Tyler, he does a lot for us also. Just all my teammates, man. I really enjoy doing what we do, and want to say congratulations to Cole on his championship. He did a really, really good job this year. They've Richard Spar's got him a pretty good team, and I'm real proud of what he's doing. There's some good talent in that league, so watch them because they put on a good show.
Well, AJ, absolutely, and congratulations on your podium finish here tonight, and thanks for talking with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brandon.
Now, gonna make my way over here to the 19 car, Shane Kelly. Shane, you come home with the win here on the Knights. How you feeling?
Man, pretty excited. Pretty good night overall. A lot of good, clean racing, man. You know, when you get into races like this and everybody gives room and respect, man, it's a lot of fun to get on there and go out here and race.
Absolutely. You know, you're ripping that bottom side, and I think one of the first guys to really go down there and test the waters. You were showing a lot of confidence in the car down there, and I'm assuming the key to running down there was just kind of easy in, easy out.
Yeah, you know, the track went through a couple different phases there. You know, I got stuck on the outside when the outside was fast, helped me make up some positions. But, you know, when I run this track, I really like that bottom. If you can hook that bottom right, you get a lot of momentum build up. As long as you consistently hit your lines, you can be fast down there because a long race like this, that top's going to wear out and, you know, you're going to get treacherous up there, bouncing off the wall a little bit. So we ran that bottom in. I had to get down there and work it in because it seemed like the beginning of the race, everybody was running high. So kind of looked down there and said, well, there's a lot of traction down there. Let's go break her in. Hopefully it'll be there at the end of the race. And it sure was.
You had a lot of close side-by-side racing out here also. Tell us a little bit about the racing and how racy the track got as the night progressed.
Oh, it was definitely racy. I mean, you had two lines right off the start, so you know, racing side by side, and, you know, got up there beside Cole for the lead, and there's nobody on here I respect more than him. We've had our fair share of battles, and it's always nothing but respect both ways. Congratulations on him on a well-deserved championship. You know, I think I got second behind him, but, you know, he drove the wheels off all season, man. I had a couple bad races, and he stayed consistent all year.
Awesome job, Shane, and congratulations on your victory tonight. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank or give a shout out to for your performance tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. My team, MDR, we all had strong runs tonight. My girl for letting me jump on here and do something. And Chris of Wild West here for putting on. This was a great series, brought in a lot of good, talented drivers. It was a very clean ran series all year and just a lot of fun to run. One of the funnest I've ran in for a while.
Well, again, congratulations, Shane, and thanks for talking. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner of the night, the number 19, Shane Kelly. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it'll wrap up our broadcast. The Wild West Pro Late Model Division here at the Knoxville Raceway. Coming home with the championship here, we'd like to give our big congratulations to the driver of that number 7 machine, as that's going to be Cole Wells coming home as your series champion. And from all of us here from the Wild West Pro Late Model Series and LSRTV, myself, Brandon Kreutz, and Charles Wooten behind the camera, catch us at 11 o'clock tonight for some more racing action, Legends cars at Lanier. Ladies and gentlemen, for right now, we bid you good racing and good night.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSRTV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSRTV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.